Hey everyone! Before we begin, I just want to say thank you all for watching, and a special shout out to my very first patron. Thank you so much, Elias Erasmi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I am sorry. Thank you so much. No matter what happens on this channel, I shall always remember you as the first. Now let's jump right into the video. Enjoy. You know, I never really believed in heroes. Sure, tales about them are everywhere, and you hear them all the time in the taverns and bars of the cities. There ain't a single soul from here to Neverwinter who doesn't know the tales of Minskin Boo, or Neris Cathon, those heroes that go around slaying monsters and stopping undead armies and whatnot. But there ain't any heroes in Waterdeep. Not for most of us. The urchins, street rats, and other filth that the guards and nobles don't give a shite about. For us, living on the streets, it's all about survival. Most days it ain't too hard. Snag a coin pouch from whoever ain't looking, pay your due to the Xanathar Guild, avoid the guards unless you're looking for a beating, and always carry a knife with you. You'll also want to avoid holy persons, clerics, priests, especially paladins. They may seem like they have your best interest at heart with all that talk about the charity of the gods or whatever, but trust me, they don't mean a lick of it. One of them would turn you in the moment they spy you trying to snag a loose coin purse or unattended piece of cheese. So you can imagine the rotten day I was having when I ran right into one of the self-righteous wankers. She was a woman, though you couldn't tell from the armor. I could only tell because she didn't wear no helmet. She was tall, with sharp features and these sort of soft blue eyes, and long, silvery blonde hair tied up in a ponytail. She wore shining plate armor, with a blue tunic and the image of a dragon's head and crossed swords on the breastplate. On her hip there was a sheathed longsword, and on her back was a shield, with the same dragon head symbol. A proper knight in shining armor and no mistake. I'm a grown man of 17 years, and I ain't scrawny despite living on the streets, but this lady stood a full head taller than me. Out of instinct, I put my hands behind my back. I could reach the knife I had in my trousers just in case. She didn't seem to notice. Or maybe she just didn't care. She was more focused on the purse I had snatched. The very thing I nicked, plain as day, on the ground in front of a knight of some strange holy order. I figured I should say a prayer before her sword cut my head off, or dragged me away in irons, but clearly the gods weren't answering prayers today. Not mine, anyway. It was a real fancy purse, bright velvety red with a silver lock. Obviously it didn't belong to me. She picked it up and asked what I was doing with it. I said it was my mum's. I was to fetch some bread, cheese, and beef for supper. I could tell from the look in her eye. She didn't believe a word of it. Frankly, neither could I. It was the worst lie I ever told, and I've told plenty in my time. I stood there, trying to think of what to do. Should I go for the knife? No. That'd be a bad idea. Especially killing a holy person. I'd have the whole city guard looking for me for a month. Might as well leg it. Try my luck tomorrow. Just as I was about to turn away, she grabbed me by the arm and shoved something in my hand. It was a bunch of silver coins. She told me to use them to buy the food for me and my mum. I couldn't believe it. Was she so stupid that she actually believed that lie? No, the smirk on her face told me she knew my true intentions. But I'm not about to turn down 6 silver coins. I legged it the other way as fast as I could, clutching the coins to my chest, just in case she decided to change her mind. Over the next few months, I followed this shiny paladin lady. Figured soon she'd be dragging some other poor wretch to the prisons or something, but she never did. She just went to the Deep Tavern every night and made friends with all the strange folk that came travelling to Waterdeep. I learned her name was Lady Enna. She worked for the Talons of Justice, one of those knightly orders or some such. She made her coin by leaving the city for weeks on end and slaying monsters. And what's more, she wasn't as stupid as most holy persons, because she was onto me. Every night she would buy an extra plate of hot food and beer at the inn and leave without eating it. I'd go in, and the barkeep would always tell me to eat it instead. Naturally I was suspicious, but holy persons don't tend to go in for poison. Some folk might get angry at this, being left out food like a stray dog what can't fend for itself. But those folk ain't ever lived in the Waterdeep sewers before. Wasn't long after this that the dragon attacked. It was a big fella too, larger than a 2-horse carriage. It had huge horns and bright red scales, and spat fire out its mouth like a street dancer. It came out of nowhere, flying so fast that the archers couldn't hit it, taking most of them out like they were nothing, crumpling them in its giant claws or turning them to ashes. The alarm bells were ringing, and everyone was running for their lives. I was too, but got knocked to my feet by the crowd. Hit my head so hard on the pavement everything went black. When I came to, I saw the slums had been turned into an inferno. Everything was on fire. Everything. Every building burning like a torch, and the streets filled with thick black smoke. My eyes watered, my throat burned, and I tried to get up and run for it. I managed to get through the smoke and into the docks when I saw her. There was Lady Anna, leading a group of adventurers against the fireworm. It wasn't like the stories though. Brave heroes stab a dragon through the heart once with a lance and that's the end of it. I got there just in time to see the dragon open up its jaws and swallow one of their healers whole, and it was about to do the same to a sorcerer and a soldier-looking man. That's when a soft silver light came off Lady Anna. I couldn't believe my eyes. One minute she was just another knight in shining armor, and the next, she was a dragon. But a different kind of dragon. It was almost as large as the red one, but covered in these bright silvery scales. I almost forgot about the fire breather till it came roaring towards my direction, but I didn't burn. The silver dragon's wings had shielded me, kept me safe. But it charged the red one, roaring and bellowing. Ho, they tore into each other like rabid wolves. I wanted to watch, but between my bleeding skull and the lungs full of smoke, well, I passed out again. I woke up some time later in a bed. That was odd. I don't own a bed. My head was bandaged and the pain was mostly gone. Lady Anna was in a chair at my bedside. She smiled at me and congratulated me for surviving. I didn't know what to say. I remember what I saw her turn into and I got a little scared, backed away. She noticed, and to her credit she told me everything. I'm a good liar, so I know she was telling the truth. Her real name was Malthrika. She was a silver dragon, of course. She used magic to pretend to be human so she could protect people from that fire breather. And now that he was dead, she had other work to do elsewhere. She called me a brave man, said she could use me for a squire, if I was interested. I'd get a share of the treasure, I'd get her protection. All I had to do was keep my mouth shut about being a dragon, and leave my pickpocketing days behind me. I didn't have to think too much about it. I know when to keep my mouth shut, and who else out there can say they work for a dragon?